I hope that you are having a wonderful afternoon. If you are coming on the live right this very second, it's likely that you're watching the replay. If you don't see that little live button up in the corner over on Facebook, if you'd put hashtag replay for me, I would love that. Today we are going to work on a sympathy arrangement using a design bowl and a cross, and I am going to show you. I've had several people ask me how to attach a cross to a design bowl, or I think I used an angel the last time, so I thought I would show you how I do that. It really worked well the last time. So Victoria's here with me, and she will be able to read the comments. We are live on both Facebook and YouTube, so y'all talk to me. It just makes the live so much better if you talk to me and ask me some questions, so y'all talk to me. And Victoria is going to read those comments for me. So I am going to use some waterproof tape. This is what we call a long, low design bowl. They're very inexpensive, about $3 for the bowl and about $3 for the fresh floral foam. So $6 for the container and the foam. And I am going to take a little bit of tape. This is a waterproof tape, and I am going to tape my foam into place. So I'm just going to go around it several times. Now my foam has been soaked. Always soak your foam first before you add flowers to it.
You have some hellos on YouTube and Facebook.
Hello everybody, so glad y'all are here. Thank you for watching.
Miss Connie says it's 96 degrees in Ohio.
It is warm in Mississippi too. Gosh, it's warm. It is definitely summertime here.
Allison says it's been very hot in New Hampshire the last 2 days, and now it's thundering like crazy.
Oh, is it thundering? Oh, wow. So what I'm going to do is, I hope you get rain. I know if you're like us, we need rain so bad. We did get a little bit of rain earlier in the week, but my flowers, what is it about your flowers in your flower beds and in your pots loving rain better than they do just watering them? So I am going to add my cross to my floral foam, and instead of, in the past, I've always taped it down. And I taped it because I didn't realize that I could use some large rubber bands to hold it in place. So let me show you what I'm going to do. This is just a large green rubber band. We get these in our pack of Arrive Alives. And you've seen us wrap fresh flowers with a little water pack on the bottom. Well, these rubber bands come with those. So I'm going to take that rubber band, lift this up, and I'm going to slide it right down onto my arrangement. And I'm going to take 2 of those. Here comes Todd tiptoeing. And my mama just texted me knowing I'm in a live, and I told her I was going with her. Okay. And I cannot text her while being on a live. I'll add 2 more. I just would rather have too many than not enough. So I'm just slipping it right over this foam. And I'm getting my belly wet. Okay, so I just took those rubber bands and just slipped it right over that foam. So it's just kind of slipped right over the foam. I'm going to take my cross.
Oh, Miss Virginia Faye Weaver says, I've caught you live 3 days in a row.
Wow, Miss Virginia, that's wonderful. Okay, so I kind of crisscrossed those rubber bands. You can see they're crisscrossed on both sides. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cross and set it kind of in the middle of my foam. Todd, stop. It kind of takes a little bit of maneuvering. So I'm going to set that cross there, and I'm going to grab those rubber bands and kind of cross over.
On YouTube, Grit and Gray says, I've been having issues with the Oasis wet foam for the past few months. I can have it soaking overnight and it's still dry in the center.
Wow, is it Oasis brand? What's the brand that you're using? I wonder if it's old. I bet you've got an old box. Okay, so there is my cross attached. And so the cross isn't going to go anywhere. It's just kind of crisscrossed with that rubber band. I almost guarantee that you have got an old box of fresh floral foam. And it really doesn't matter what the name brand is. It's probably just an old box. And so it's not going to soak. Okay, next what I'm going to do is, you see how it's kind of crossed? I'm going to take a little bit of tape, and I'm going to tape that rubber band.
Oh, Grit and Gray says it is Oasis brand.
I bet it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with, because Oasis brand is great. It doesn't have anything to do with the type of foam. Is it the same box you've been working on, or have you opened up new boxes? Is it the exact same one box? Because I guarantee that it's just an old box of foam. Unless, they sent you several boxes from the same lot. Okay, so then I taped that rubber band down so that it wouldn't come untaped. It wouldn't come uncrossed. So my cross is in place. It's not going anywhere. So next what we're going to do, so all I did was I took a rubber band and I crisscrossed it over to hold my cross in place. Now what that's going to do is keep it from getting any residue on it, because this kind of tape always leaves kind of a sticky residue, and I don't like that. I don't want a sticky residue on a nice gift. So I like the rubber band idea because then it doesn't get sticky and yucky. Next what we're going to do is take a little bit of pittosporum. I was making sure that wasn't my mama calling.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take my pit and I am going to tuck it into my floral foam, and I'm just taking it. So the wonderful thing about pittosporum is it does these little florets. It kind of looks like little florets, and you can break it into small pieces.
Grit and Grace says, I've been through 3 boxes like that now. She says, you're probably right. I never thought about it being old stock.
Yes, I would probably, if I was having that kind of issue, I'd call whoever you ordered it from, and I would tell them it's been 3 boxes, because it's not cheap. And so I would tell them. I use a brand called Thirsty Foam, and it's by a company called Ludwig. Now it is a little more, dense. It's a dense foam, but I've liked it. I've really liked it. I haven't had any issues whatsoever. So I'm taking my pit and I'm just breaking it into little small pieces, and I'm tucking it all the way throughout my foam.
Miss Linda Sue on YouTube says, good afternoon.
Hello, Linda Sue. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
And Miss Donna Gribbins on YouTube says, it is 92 in Kentucky. We have been in the 90s all week. It is supposed to be this hot until mid next week.
Oh, goodness. It's warm, isn't it? Warm.
Gray asks, how much do they run?
How much How much does the foam run?
That's what I thought, maybe the foam.
So I order it usually in bulk, because you can get your discount if you order it in bulk. So I order the cases of the foam, just the blocks of foam. I also order the cages, and then I order, what is it? Wasn't that question?
Gray was asking about how much does the cross run. He says, I like the cross, when my friend passed away, they sent me an angel.
Aww.
She is beautiful and it had fresh flowers in it, and wants to know how much
this cross itself is $15. We just had it in stock. This actually called for an angel arrangement, but we didn't have an angel, so we sent back. We got this from Flower Shop Network, and so we sent back and said we do not have an angel, and they said use what you have. So we are using a cross today. So this arrangement, I think the arrangement is $80 roughly, an $80 arrangement. Okay, There is our pittosporum, just pretty pit. Next we're going to come in with, we're going to use lavender and white flowers. So I've got some pretty lavender roses. Beautiful, and they smell so pretty. I don't know what it is about lavender roses that have such a beautiful fragrance. These are gerber daisies, some white stock, and then some mini carnations. I'm going to start out with my stock, I think. Put a little line flower in here.
Anita Green says, I always love seeing your mechanics and how you make things always work. That is such a huge part of floral design.
It is the most important part of floral design, in my personal opinion. I think it's so important that that arrangement stays together. Because if it falls apart, it wasn't worth anything, was it?
Sarah Green says, newish florist in Indianapolis. Love your content. I never catch a live, so I'm so excited.
Yay!
Thanks for all you do.
So glad you're here, Sarah. Thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you. So I'm just taking my stock and I'm cutting it kind of short and I'm tucking it in.
On YouTube, Miss Jane Lewis asks, do you pre-soak the pittosporum overnight?
I do not. I do not. Should I pre-soak it? This all comes in a box that has a lot of, it usually has wet paper in it to keep it damp. And then we usually just cut it and put it in buckets of water and just let it sit in the cooler and water. So I cut these roses pretty short. And I'm tucking them down kind of deep into this arrangement. Todd, you're not a cat. You cannot have cat food. No, sir. Go lay down. He's looking at me like, what?
On YouTube, Renee Hunt says, hello, watching from the Gold Coast, Australia.
Hello, friend. Thank you for being here. So I'm just taking these roses and cutting them pretty short and tucking them in pretty deep.
Lisa Hicks.
So
I'm
pretty.
sorry.
Nope, you're good. I was just saying they smell so pretty.
Lisa Hicks Russell says, very pretty. Stock smells so good. It's strange how sometimes it smells and sometimes it doesn't.
Isn't it interesting how some things have fragrances and some things, yeah, I agree. Sometimes it smells really pretty and sometimes it doesn't. It's weird. Okay, I'm going to take some wire. I did not wire my roses because I cut them really short and tucked them in. So I'm not worried about their little heads dipping. I am going to take some wire and I am going to wire my gerber daisies. So I'm going to take this small piece of wire. I cut it in about 1/4 of a piece. And I'm going to press it right into the back of this disc of the gerber, and I'm just twisting that wire right around that stem. Now the reason I cut it so short is because I didn't want to have to cut the wire when I cut the stem of flowers. So that's the reason I cut it short. Taking my knife, cutting it.
Your mama says, that wasn't me. I'm watching you.
Well, I got a text, Mama. Yes, I'm going with you. Do you want me to come get you, or is Robbie going? So I'm going to take another, we're having a conversation. I'm going to take another wire, and I'm pressing it into the back of that gerber, and I'm just twisting it right around that stem. Now what this wire does is it just kind of controls his head. He doesn't always want to mind you. They kind of have a little bend. They don't always mind. So if I add that wire, I can manipulate it a little bit. But now let me tell you, be very careful with a gerber. If you get to manipulating him too much, you're going to pop the stem. And then you might say an ugly word, and ugly words aren't nice. And so be very careful.
Diane Adams says, love the roses. What color are they, please?
It's a lavender, and I'll have to go and look and see if we still have the
is it Moody Blue or something?
This one
like
might
that?
be Moody Blue. That sounds about right.
I think I remember you saying both boxes from.
Yes, they were. You're right. Thanks, Victoria. Moody Blue is this variety. We had another one that's a really soft lavender, almost a kind of a periwinkle color, that was so pretty. And I think that one was from last week. You're right. This, I think, is a Moody Blue. Beautiful fragrance, y'all. It smells so pretty. I'm going to turn it around and see where we are. Okay, so we had these sweet little mini carnations that are in the lavender family, lavender color. So I am going to take these carnations and I'm going to cut them into small stems.
Your mama says Robbie's not going.
Okay, I'll come get you in just a little bit. As soon as I get finished, I'll head that direction.
Kristen Weaver says, oh dear, the number of ugly words that my kitchen hears when making cakes and cookies.
I know. I try not to do things that cause me to say anything ugly. I try. It doesn't always happen, does it, Victoria?
On YouTube, Irene Rovers is watching from Holland.
Hello, Irene. Thank you for being here.
Chris Fry is also watching on YouTube today. He says, my favorite bouquet is peonies in stalk.
Oh, they are so lovely. So lovely. I actually just spoke with somebody about ordering some peonies. I'm so excited for the week we get back.
Grit and Grace asks, were they ocean song roses? That like periwinkle lavender
I'm not
rose?
sure because I can't remember looking at the sleeve, and the sleeve's been gone for a little while. But ooh, they're so pretty.
Oh, Miss Sheila from Ohio is watching on YouTube. She says it's the first time she's been able to catch us live. She loves us.
Hello. Thank you, friend. Thank you for being here.
Oh, Kristen Weaver says it's usually the fondant.
It's usually the fondant that makes her talk ugly. I can remember those days, Kristen. I'm glad that's you and not me. Woo, cakes would make you crazy.
Allison, that's so weird. Mine's been okay today. She said that she's been...
Is she still
Facebook is
up?
giving her problems. She's been freezing up again, and that makes every single day this week that she's caught us. Her Facebook's been freezing up.
I'm so sorry. All right, so I just took these sweet little carnations and I just cut them apart into individual little flowers, sweet little flowers. And next, what I'm going to do is, you can see where I have attached that little cross there. I am going to go in here and grab a little bit of leather leaf because I want to try to camouflage that back. I don't want that rubber band to show. Now, it is green. It's not a very big deal, but I don't love it. So I'm going to go get a little bit of something to cover that up. Give me just a second.
Miss Marilyn, you caught the live.
Yay!
Welcome. You did. I agree. I think the colors are beautiful. The original design that they had asked us to do, this order came from another flower shop. Monty may have mentioned this, but I have the video playing in my ear. So I apologize if I'm repeating anything, but this order came from another flower shop and they wanted us to replicate an arrangement from a website. And so the original arrangement was all white flowers and they wanted us to add in some lavender. Which I think is just lovely. And so I think it's turning out so pretty. She always does a fantastic job.
Here's that other variety that was so pretty. It's kind of a lighter lavender. And I wasn't sure. And it's a smaller head, but it is pretty. Okay, I grabbed a little bit of leather leaf. Now, this every single time, and I know that I repeat myself, but just in case you didn't see it before, it's very important you cover these mechanics. So I'm just going to take some leather leaf and I'm going to pop it short and I'm going to kind of tuck it in right behind that little cross because I want to cover up those mechanics. And it's not that they're real obvious, that rubber band's real obvious, but to me it's important.
Dawn Miller says, me and my sister took cake decorating and I would go home covered in white powder sugar.
Yes. Before we started doing videos, we actually had a bakery in the flower shop. That was a silly thing to do. That was way more work than I ever intend on ever doing again. Because it would take hours and hours and hours not only to bake the cakes and decorate the cakes. It would take me hours to make a $50 cake, and nobody wanted to even spend $50 on a cake. And I'm like, it takes me less than 5 minutes to do a $50 flower arrangement. I quit the cakes. It was a lot. So I'm going to take spiral eucalyptus and cut it into tiny little pieces, and we're just going to finish off this arrangement with a little bit of pretty eucalyptus. So I just cut it into a small piece and stripped off the bottom parts of the bottom leaves.
Miss Rhea said one day she was getting animated talking to her husband Mark. Oh no, this afternoon she was getting animated talking to her husband Mark. She says somebody he knows does the daftest things. The French doors were open, and so she apologized to the neighbors in case they heard and shut those doors. Kristen Weaver says, oh, the buttercream explosion. I have to force myself to be patient.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no harder work than baking to me. That is a hard job. And honestly, I'm just not a fine artist. So all that drawing that you do, Kristen, is amazing. And like Rhea is an artist that I couldn't be. It's wonderful, though, that we all have our own medium and can do our own thing.
Oh, Grit and Grace on YouTube says she just found us on Facebook and is now following us.
Yay! Thank you, friend. Thank you for following.
Miss Debbie says, beautiful arrangement, Monty. How long will it last?
So as long as they continue to add water, it'll last for days. It's just important that they add water. Is a sympathy piece, so it will go to the funeral home and sit on a table at the funeral home. So it really just depends on how well they care for the flowers.
Miss Margaret Lynch says this is such a beautiful arrangement.
Thank you, Miss Margaret. Thank you. So I'm just adding these little bitty pieces of the eucalyptus to the arrangement, and to me it's just the final touch, almost like a little bit of a filler flower, but just pretty and simple. And there is the finished arrangement.
Oh, Miss Shirley Segrist says, I just got my happy maybe 45 minutes ago. Yay.
Yay, Miss Shirley. I'm so glad that came quick, didn't it?
Oh, Miss Janice says it's beautiful.
Thank you, Miss Janice. Thank you so much. And there is our finished piece. So what I used is that, you can see it in the back, I used that little green design bowl, and then we added not quite a full piece of fresh floral foam. I always trim it up just a tiny bit. We used 2 stems of the pittosporum, where I just broke it into tiny pieces and went throughout. I think 2 stems maybe of leather leaf, 1 stem of the spiral eucalyptus or baby blue euc, and then we used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roses, 2 gerbers, 4 stems of stock, and I think 5 stems of the mini carnations. I love those mini carnations. And we attached our cross with rubber bands, and it's going to hold. It's not moving at all, which I love. That makes me so thankful, and it takes a load off. I always worry about if a gift falls out and breaks. That's always scary to me, because it's handled a lot. They're handled a lot more than you think. Jason takes it to the funeral home. The funeral home takes it to the funeral at the church. Then the church moves it. And so it's just a lot of hands touching an arrangement. So you want to make sure it doesn't fall apart. That to me is the most important thing about any arrangement.
Yep, they're saying it's beautiful.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
They love the cross. I'm not seeing any more questions.
No more questions.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank y'all for being here. Thank you for all the questions and talking to me this afternoon. I will be back in the morning over on Facebook to do a devotion, so I'd love for you to join me at 8 o'clock in the morning. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a heart or a thumbs up. That way our video is shown to more people. And if you wouldn't mind sprinkling the video, I would so appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow to do our devotion, and then we'll do another flower arrangement in the afternoon. Y'all have